Hi K-Astrology family, welcome back, and if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Cailin, and on K-Astrology I post all kinds of content related to astrology, tarot, spirituality and occult knowledge. So if this kind of content interests you, please subscribe to my channel. You can also find me on Instagram, where I'm very active, on Twitter and on Facebook as well. This month I'm going to be doing a new series on all 12 astrological signs and how the astrological events of October are going to impact those signs. So please watch your ascendant sign video, otherwise known as your rising sign, first and foremost, ahead of sun or moon signs. Despite the fact that you may identify more with your moon sign or your sun sign, you will get the most accurate reading if you watch my ascendant sign video. By all means, you can watch all three, but if you're only going to watch one today, watch your ascendant sign video. So for the month of October, it's pretty jam-packed full of lots of things going on. The most important one, I think, is that we're starting to feel the effects of the Mercury retrograde pre-shadow period, which is always about 2 weeks-ish before Mercury actually stations retrograde. That will be on the 14th of October. But you'll definitely be feeling those energies from the beginning of October. You might even feel that from the end of September. I've certainly been feeling that myself. And anyone who's a Gemini rising or Virgo rising, sun or moon, you will feel that more strongly than anyone else, as will Scorpio for this month. So with Mercury being in retrograde until November the 4th or 5th, you are going to find that exes are going to be popping up out of the woodwork, whether that's ex-partners, ex-friends, or people who used to be in your life. It doesn't have to necessarily have ended on bad terms, but you'll just find that people start messaging you out of the blue or calling you out of the blue to catch up or just to chat. And that's going to have a big impact on wherever you have Scorpio in your birth chart. That is where Mercury will be transiting. For the rest of the month, we will also be seeing Pluto turning direct on the 4th of November, and we're going to see 2 full moons this month, a full moon in Aries on the 1st of October and a full moon in Taurus on the 31st of October. And in addition to that, Venus will be in Virgo for almost the entire month. And we've got a couple of other things happening in the month as well. So enough of the preamble, I'll get into the individual videos now. So make sure you are watching the right video for you. And like I said earlier, you can definitely watch all 3 for your sun, moon and rising. Hi Virgo, sun, moon and risings. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope you're ready for what October has in store for you, because it's pretty jam-packed with activity. I don't know why I even said that. You guys are Virgos, you're always prepared. So here's the tea, this is what's happening. You have Mars retrograde in your 8th house, and the 8th house rules fears, phobias, psychology, it rules the occult, it rules any kind of crisis management industry that you may be working in, whether that's in a hospital, in ICU, you could be a surgeon, or you could even be working in the stock market industry, you could be a tax accountant or handling other people's money. I'm not saying that this is your career house, because that's the 10th house, but basically some or a combination of these topics is what has been demanding your attention, at least since early September, or the 9th of September, when Mars went retrograde, and it will continue to do so until around the 13th or the 14th of November, depending where you live, when Mars goes direct. Basically, on a psychological level, the 8th house represents anything that we have buried deep, any kind of emotional insecurity or instability And, you know, this is what a lot of you Virgos, Virgo Sun, Moon and Risings will have been working on. And the thing is, you don't have to be consciously aware of it to be picking up on these vibes and these energies. Regardless of whether you're aware of it or not, they have been affecting you, and they have been affecting your ability to derive any kind of fun or enjoyment out of life, because it's squaring your 5th house, which is the 5th house represents fun, celebration, parties. It also represents creativity and children if you have children. So essentially, your ability to enjoy yourself, enjoy your passions, your hobbies, your creative endeavors, and even your children at this point in time is contingent on you actually piercing the veil and digging a little bit deeper into what may have been throwing you off psychologically. It could be any number of things, Virgo. I know you guys are analytical and detail oriented, and after this video you'll probably get to work with trying to figure it out, which is great. But you know, if you're looking for an avenue to assist you with working through any of these issues that are cropping up for you at this time, there's a number of things you can do. You can obviously see a psychologist or therapist. You can do any kind of Reiki healing, meditation. You can delve into anything represented by the occult, so spiritual world, tarot, astrology, anything that's going to be a tool which allows you to investigate what it is which has been making you feel quite restless and, you know, discontented over the last few months. We've had Mars there. We've had Mars transiting your 8th house since mid-July, and it will be there until Mars will be there until early January. So this house will be an area of focus for you. If you are adamant that there's nothing going on beneath the surface, that's fine. I don't believe you. However, no, I'm just kidding. However, it could just be that you're working in one of those fields which deals with people who are going through some sort of death, whether that's the death of a marriage, physical death, grieving, or any kind of surgery if you're in a hospital or whatever. Moving right along, you do have a full moon in the 8th house on the 1st of October. So the full moon in Mars conjunct Chiron. It might be quite an emotional time for you. You might have some sort of sudden realization or epiphany as to why it is that you've been feeling not quite right. And we do have another full moon at the end of the month, at the 31st of October. But first, let me just touch on Venus transiting your 1st house. Your 1st house, otherwise known as your ascendant house, is essentially you. It's your physical body, it's your physique, it's also the head specifically. And essentially when you have Venus there, you are totally changing up your look for the better. You're beautifying yourself, filling yourself. Maybe you got a new haircut, or you've been working out like crazy. You could have a whole new wardrobe. And if you want to totally switch up your look, if you want to do a makeover, get a haircut, get a new wardrobe, now is a great time to do it. Venus will be transiting your 1st house between the 3rd of October to the 28th of October. So you've got, you know, a 3-ish week window in which you can totally do that. I mean, hey, you know, you can do that any time of year. But honestly, during this period, you guys are going to be receiving so many compliments. You're going to feel really great about how you're looking. Maybe you feel like it's the best you've looked in ages. And, you know, I'd love to hear if that's the case for you, Virgo. Drop me a comment. I love hearing from you guys. So you've got a new moon in Libra, and that is occurring on the 16th of October, and that's happening in your 2nd house. Now, in your 2nd house, on a material level, You could be indulging in some kind of valuable possession, something material, again, new clothing or a beautiful piece of jewelry or a new watch or whatever. It could just be that you actually are totally revitalizing your self-worth, because the second house represents what we value, and in essence this represents your self-esteem. So all these changes that you've been going through, and there have been a lot, it has just been like the last few weeks, but all of this is leading up to you having a newfound sense of confidence, a newfound sense of high self-esteem, which is not dependent on other people you know, praising you or giving you a pat on the back or acknowledging you, acknowledging your achievements. No, this is actually coming from within, which is great. And with the new moon being opposite Mars in your 8th house, which again is retrograde, you will definitely be finding that working through these psychological issues or these like irrational fears or whatever is what leads to this newfound self-esteem. The two are definitely linked, and once you discover that for yourself, you will find with your 5th house, which is all clogged up with Capricorn energy at the moment, come December and even early January, you will just have a totally new lease on life, and you'll be able to enjoy yourself more, of higher self-esteem. You'll be able to enjoy your hobbies, you'll feel more creative, you will have more energy to put towards your artistic endeavors, your creative projects. It doesn't have to be, you know, music or singing or dance. It could definitely be those things, but it could just be, you know, anything that you derive some kind of joy from. And I'm really excited to see that for you Virgos, because I know it's been a tough time. I've got a Virgo moon as well, so I feel ya. On to Mercury being retrograde in Scorpio. This is in your 3rd house. It's your ruling planet, so Mercury retrogrades affect Virgos and Geminis more than any other sign every time it's retrograde, and that is 3 or 4 times a year. It's not a huge deal because you guys are super adaptable, you're super flexible, you're used to this, it happens so much, it's just like, whatever. But obviously it's bloody annoying. And when it's in your 3rd house, what you might encounter is miscommunications or misunderstandings with 3rd house matters. Siblings, extended relatives, teammates, schoolmates, classmates, colleagues, business connections, business clients as well, like clients on a whole, not necessarily, you know, one-to-one, although very well could be. And, you know, anything to do with messaging devices, email, internet technology. So there's a lot of ways that Mercury retrograde can totally bugger up your 3rd house. And here's a few things to watch out for. Misunderstandings with your siblings, miscommunications, the fact that Mercury is retrograde in Scorpio, you know, things can get a little bit nasty. Your sibling might say something that you're just like, what the, that's totally below the belt, or vice versa. But anyway, this Mercury retrograde in particular can manifest by discovering secrets about any of those aforementioned people. So your siblings, in particular younger siblings, colleagues, classmates, schoolmates, extended relatives, you might find out something juicy about these people and you're like, wow, I mean, I thought, but like I didn't know for sure. But anyway, watch out, because the shoe can definitely be on the other foot, where your dirty business might be discovered by one of those people. So word of warning, be very careful, not just with who you tell things to and who you're communicating with, but just be really hesitant to put anything in writing. So don't send any like, you know, risky texts or texts with all the juice and all the deets, because I'm not saying it'll be used against you, although it can, but you might just send it to the wrong person. You know, it's just like click of a button, press of the finger, and you're like, oh my God, like I sent it to the wrong person. You know, watch out for that, and just make sure that you are not like being recorded. You don't want anyone to like screenshot what you're doing. I don't know. I haven't like gone down this route with the other signs. I just feel like I need to tell you guys this. But anyway, it could manifest simply as misunderstandings with those people. Now, lastly, with your Mercury retrograde in your 3rd house, if you work in a like an admin kind of role, or sales, or anything like to do with your online or maintaining social media platforms, anything that requires you to put your seal of approval on something, or publish something, or send it off, honestly, check it more times than you normally would, because there is potential for you to publish the wrong draft, send the wrong email to the wrong person, or just to, you know, totally stuff up whatever task it was that you were meant to be doing. And if you are relying on work coming back from your colleagues, check their work too. Again, Virgo, I know you don't trust anyone other than yourself. If you want something done right, do it yourself. But hey, it's business. We have to work with other people. So check their work really carefully. I just feel like there's going to be some kind of mistake or mishap to do with anything that's written. And be careful on public transport trips, anything or any kind of short trip, short journey, whether it's for one day, weekend away, or getaway. Make sure you've booked the right day for your accommodation. You know, if you're meant to be staying somewhere on the 10th of let's say it's like the 10th of November, and then you find out that you booked for the 10th of October, and then you have to pay twice. Yes, I've done this. I did this like twice on my honeymoon, although I feel like one of those times wasn't my fault. Moving right along, lastly, you have a full moon in Taurus, conjunct Uranus, and it is in your 9th house. The 9th house rules higher education, and I don't mean high school, I mean like further education with college, university, could be like a master's program, a scholarship program, whatever it is. It's something where it's not as simple as like coursework or just, you know, doing a short course. It's something in depth. And the 9th house also rules travel, long journeys, okay, not short journeys, and it rules teachers, mentors, and your belief system, whether you are religious, atheist, spiritual, I don't care. It rules belief systems altogether. I didn't make the rules. Now, when you've got full moon conjunct Uranus in the 9th house, something like shocking or unexpected can occur pertaining to one or several of those aforementioned areas. Uranus is a planet of change and swift upheavals, or, you know, shocking developments. And basically this could manifest with you basically graduating with higher achievement or less than what you thought, like the results of education, whether it's like some important test, it's not like what you expected. It could be some kind of shocking development with regards to your mentor or your teacher. Perhaps they've suddenly had to, you know, change job or career, or, you know, you've got a new mentor. There's like a sudden separation from that person who was in some kind of teaching position or role to you. It doesn't have to be on the higher education front. Let's just say you are, you know, studying to be a pastor or priest, and the person who's mentoring you, you know, all of a sudden they're like, hey, sorry, you know, I've got someone else coming in to fill my role. could manifest in that way. Or if you are living abroad or currently traveling, be extra careful on the full moon, at the full moon on the 31st of October, because sudden shocking developments can occur while you are abroad. So just be extra careful, Virgo. It doesn't have to be anything negative, or, you know, full moons can just be like a blip on the radar. But anyway, Virgo, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it. If you want to see more videos from me, please subscribe to my channel. I am extremely active on Instagram. If you're not already following me, I'm going to chuck some links in the description. And last but not least, if you are interested in a personalized astrology reading or tarot reading from me, you can also find those links to book at cailin.com. So Virgo, enjoy October, and I'll see you next time.